think anyway it's well over 63 from steam. Okay. You know, it has to be kept over, what would the temperature be?
The rice?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, well, to keep you want the rice in the hot holding unit?
Yeah.
You want it to be over 63 degrees. Is it yourself who went on the got training?
Me?
Yeah, have you done food hygiene training?
Yeah.
You need to do a refresher course if you're going to be in charge of the kitchen. I want all the fridges cleaned, the dry goods store.
It's quite a list she's leaving them with, and it's all important stuff,
okay?
but not impossible.
In the fridge
Lisa is giving them 24 hours to make the changes. Tomorrow she'll be back to see how they're getting on. Back in the capital, there's no waiting around for the noise pollution control unit of the City Council. Attending to a recent complaint are environmental officers Jerry Osborne and Paul Rutherford.
Today we're investigating a noise nuisance from a nightclub. We would have spoken to the nightclub, and we've said that there's been a complaint, and it's up to them to solve the problem by reducing the noise levels or reducing the sound power level or keeping windows shut or whatever good management, whatever they can do. The complainant is obliged in the first instance to fill out a log sheet of who's affected by the noise for at least a 2-week period. It gives us an indication of how bad it is, what times it occurs at. You know, it's the complainant's evidence of how it's affected his life as well. So we can see things here like he was kept awake until 3 a.m, very tired going to work the next day, couldn't work properly. Loud noise coming, pervasive noise coming right throughout the living room. So he's got evidence here of how it's affected him and affected his life.
Monitoring the level of noise at the complainant's residence is stage 2 of the investigation.
What we'll be doing is we're installing a DAT recorder, and that will allow the complainant to monitor the noise themselves. So we can leave that with them for anything up to 7 days. This is the most important part of the whole thing, is the microphone, right? So it's omnidirectional, and it'll pick up the sound in the room. So just leave it as it is, but if it's in your work.
There's no reason why people would complain about a nightclub if they seriously weren't affected by it. The equipment should generally produce the results that we want, and if there is a problem, the digital audio tape will record the sound and the noise meter will record a graph which will show us whether the problem exists or not.
So we're going to put a calibration signal on the DAT tape.
With the equipment calibrated, all that's left is to explain the operating instructions.
This is the device that's probably the most important part from your point of view. Very simply, when you notice that the noise has reached the level at which you find it disturbing, simply press the record button. And when you've got 2 lights, you've got recording.
People complain if they're woken up, woken up by a noise. So it's up to us, to determine, how much is too much.
24 hours later, Lisa is on her way back to the restaurant to see if the changes she requested have been made.
So everything is in packets and lidded up. Great, yeah, that's perfect. This will do as an interim until you sort something else out.
Yeah.
Is it tape?
Yeah.
It's tape, okay. So you'll find after a few days this will probably start to break away and stuff. So you will probably need to get some other surface on it. Okay, so everything in the cold room, just make sure that it's covered.
Yeah.
We're just checking to make sure that the fridges are operating correctly. I'd say the majority of the work involved in being a food officer in environmental health is probably made up of, obviously, enforcement of the food legislation if required, but a huge amount of it is advisory. This is for your raw meat, this is for your cooked meat,
yeah.
And this is for your veg, is it?
Yeah.
Grand, okay, perfect. So just make sure with the sinks that one is used for washing up and then one is used, so you use one sink for washing up with the detergent, and then the other sink is supposed to be used for rinsing. So you're getting rid of all the suds and everything like that from it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All these shelves are much better. They're not sticky anymore, okay? Did you give them a good scrub?
Yeah.
Okay, with some soapy hot water?
Yeah.
Your detergent.
Lisa is quite happy with this initial progress. There is still some work to be done if this restaurant is to continue meeting food safety standards.
The cleaning is much improved, but obviously there will be other jobs, but I can come back in a month or 6 weeks to check them out, okay?
1 week has passed since installing their monitoring equipment. Environmental officers Paul Rutherford and Jerry Osborne are on their way back to collect the recordings to further the excessive noise complaint.
What we're currently doing now is we're downloading all the noise level data that was recorded over the entire 7 days. Every 5 minutes from the day we installed it to the time that we picked it up and turned the meter off, every 5 minutes is in there. So those 40 minutes that he recorded, we'll be able to refer to those in the noise level readings and be able to see how loud they are. So he started recording there at 2:30 in the morning of Tuesday, which is today. They're quite high levels. If something is clearly audible at 2:30 in the morning and there's quite high levels of bass, then we would determine a nuisance. So on such times we listen to the tape. I think the levels reflect that it seems quite loud at that time in the morning. The World Health Organization guidelines for community noise, that cites that to achieve sleep and good sleep, uninterrupted sleep, you'd need a consistent level, LEQ level of 30 dB. And certainly that level is above that, or 46.6. But as I said, this is why we need to listen to the tape, because we need to be able to confirm that the music contributed to that high level.
As Paul listens to the recording, it's not exactly drum and bass he hears. It's something altogether closer to home.
Okay, we listened to the tape there over a period of 5 minutes, and the overwhelming noise source, unfortunately, is snoring. So, and there's quite a lot of it, and it's clearly audible, and it's affecting the noise sources. So, in this particular instance, I don't think we can use the evidence. But he has the option of the recorder being used again, but we would emphasise that there's no point us putting in a recorder for 7 days unless we get the music and nothing but the music.
Since filming ended, the complainant has not availed of the option to have his noise complaint retested. The lakes and rivers of Killarney are an angler's paradise, and the last place you'd be looking for trouble on a fine, clear spring morning. But policing this vast area is a daily challenge. Fisheries officer Karen Griffin is on patrol.
We're checking permits and licensing for fishing.
No, I don't have.
What are you fishing for?
Truth?
Trout. Okay, you need a permit to fish the Lown in Killarney, the whole system. Need a permit?
To fish in the lake?
No, fish. Fish on the river.
Okay, on the lake here?
On the lake.
Lake here?
The lake is free.
And this is not the same than
No.
the lake?
No. You see the sign at the gate?
No.
The sign's on the gate.
No. I'm student in Cork.
These guys are with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just here. And
Right.
they fish too.
Are they French?
Yeah.
Right. And what vehicle are you driving down to the bridge? Which one is yours? Are you in a car or a
No.
van? No
No.
car. Walking?
Yeah, but far. 2 kilometers.
Right, okay. Are you all living in Cork?
Yeah.
Cork.
Do you have an address in Cork where you live?
My address in Cork?
Yeah.
I don't know. I arrived last week and I don't remember the name of the street.
Right, and do you know the address?
Oh, my address in Cork.
You could get an on-the-spot fine, which would be €90 each for not having paid your permit.
No.
How much?
€90?
No.
Yeah, okay.
How much is it
Yeah.
to fish here?
It's €10 for trout.
Okay.
We can
Euros,
pay.
okay.
Well,
We can pay to fish?
If you're willing to go back and get a permit, we'll let you get a permit, seeing as you're visitors. Okay?
Okay.
The three men claim they wandered in here from the lake, where they didn't need a permit to fish, and Karen wants to give them the benefit of the doubt. But it seems they don't know their way back to where they came in, and they are finally trying her patience.
So you didn't fish here, you started down below?
Too much monkey business. Too much monkey business.
No, come on, we'll keep going towards the car. Well, they told us they came in by the lake, which is another half a kilometre up there, but that's why I asked them why they've runners on. Like, you couldn't come down there with runners without being wet up to your knees. And they're dry, so obviously they didn't come in that way. No, is it down here or is it up here? Which way did you come in?
Well, for me, it's here, but
You came up along the river.
yeah, the river where we.
Yeah,
were.
so you're parked down on the river, on the bridge over the river.
Yeah, there's a bridge like this,
Yes.
and just before the
Before it.
bridge, on the right.
Yeah, right. That's way
So-
back down there again. So you didn't come in by the lake, you came in by the river, and the signs.
I follow you.
Come on.
Okay.
And if this is where they came in, the game is up, and they won't get away with paying €10 for permits. They'll be facing a fine.
This is where you came in. This is
Yeah.
your car.
Yeah. This one.
See the sign? You can see it clearly there. It's trout. €10, €6 half day. So I'm going to issue you with fines, on the spot fines. You have 21 days to pay in Macroom, the office in Macroom in Cork.
21 days.
21 days
pay.
to pay.
But we're here only for 1 week again.
Well, then you'd
one
want
more
to
week.
pay it as soon as. You can come across genuine mistakes, people that have a permit and didn't understand what they can and can't use or something like that. But it's fairly rare, you know, because the place that we work with, especially around Killarney, is widely known for its salmon and trout fishing, and the bylaws and regulations are there and they're clearly marked with signs.
Yeah, I can't pay €90, you know. I don't have the.
Well, yeah, but all I can say to you is it says €10. If you paid your €10, you wouldn't have to pay €90.
But the man of the Yacht Hotel said it's
No, it
free.
doesn't. It's on the
Yeah,
sign,
look,
clearly on the sign. You have to take all the information and decide yourself what you think. Now, we're going to take your rods, and when you pay, you can get your rods back, okay? They said they were only over for 2 weeks, but yet they had bought rods, you know, they had rods that they had paid for. Plus, they passed the sign, it's €10, it's marked with a euro sign. Most European people know what the euro sign stands for, so when we came back to the gate, they knew they had passed that sign and they had seen that sign.
The 3 anglers eventually owned up. The prospect of losing their valuable fishing rods was just too much, and they agreed to pay their fines.
Leaving behind a life of crime in Manchester for the quiet life in Ireland doesn't quite go to plan in our new 4-part drama, Father and Son, this Monday at 9:30 here on RTE1.